Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In our first topic, we will discuss integration by power rule, and this is the first method to which we will solve the integral of some functions that related to power rule. For instance, what is power rule? The power rule is integral of x raised to power n dx is always equal to x raised to power n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. N is not equal to minus 1. Let's start with some examples. Here you can see we take n is equal to 1 and apply the power rule. We have seen x raised to power 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1 plus c. In this case we choose n is equal to 1. So final answer will be x square by 2. Similarly, if you choose n is equal to 2, if you choose n is equal to 2, then result will be 2 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 plus c. It means we choose n is equal to 2. So what will be our final answer? X cube by cube plus c. So this will be final answer. Now similarly, you can take any positive integer value that can be replaced with n. So for instance, if you take x raised to power 100, so no matter the number, what will be the number, it could be any positive integer. You will apply the power rule in the same manner. So x 100 plus 1 over 100 plus 1 plus c, x raised to power 101 over 101 plus c. So this is belongs to when n is positive integer. Okay, now what will happen if n is a negative integer? Start from n is equal to minus 1, but keep in mind already there is some restriction on n. We cannot choose n is equal to minus 1. It is a restriction for this power rule. But we should check why we cannot insert n is equal to minus 1. Just check it. If we choose n is equal to minus 1, what will happen? Minus 1 plus 1 over minus 1 plus 1 plus c. After simplification you will get, so denominator will create a problem for us, because in this way the overall answer will goes to infinity, and every integral, every indefinite integral always have some answer in terms of a function. So here the overall answer will goes to infinity. So that's why there is a restriction for n. It cannot be minus 1 ever. So this is the reason we cannot choose n is equal to minus 1. But if we choose any other negative integer other than minus 1, then no problem at all. You can see x raised to power minus 2 it can be solved easily. X raised to power minus 2 plus 1 over minus 2 plus 1 plus c. So this shows after simplification the result will be x raised to power minus 1 over minus 1, and further simplification will get this result. It means the power rule, the power n can be positive integer, can be negative integer, but we cannot choose n is equal to minus 1 in the negative integers, but all other negative integers can be chosen. Similarly, in positive integer you can take any positive value for n, positive integer for n. So what we have studied so far, we can choose n as a positive integer and as a negative integer. Negative integers, but the restriction is we cannot choose negative 1. So this is the first case which we have discussed. What will be n? If someone is confused here, what we are doing, we are just placing the values in the formula and find the results. In this way you can choose any number, how can we check the power rule is okay? How this formula is generated? Actually this thing belongs to differentiation. For instance, if you want to check whether this power rule we are going to apply, how can we check it is true? For instance, x raised to power 3, and you want to check what will be the integral for this function x raised to power 3, and how you will be satisfied after applying the integral that this will be the final answer. And how you can check? It is very simple to understand this concept. Just take the differential, just take the first derivative of the function given in right side. For instance, if you want to find the derivative of the function given in right side of the integral, just take the derivative of this function. You will see 4x cube by 4 plus the derivative of a constant is always 0, so you have left x cube. So this is the reason you have to satisfy for this integral and for this particular rule, that is called power rule, because if you choose x cube and after integral you will get x4 by 4 plus c, if you are not satisfied with the answer, just take the first order derivative of this function. If you get back the same function which you are going to integrate, then it means your this answer x4 by 4 plus c is okay. So this is the reason we apply the power rule in this sense. Now we have discussed when n is positive integer or when is negative integer. But in negative integers we cannot use n is equal to minus 1. Similarly, now we will study when n is a rational number, a number which can be written in the form of p over q is called a rational number. For instance, if we have 1 by 2, similarly the same power rule can be used here, x raised to power 1 by 2 plus c plus 1 over 1 by 2 plus 1 plus c, and ultimately you will get x raised to power 3 by 2 over 3 by 2 plus c. After some simplification you will get 2 by 3 x raised to power 3 by 2 plus c. So this is the final answer for x raised to power 1 by 2. It means you can use rational power as well, even this is a positive rational. For instance, if you want to check the same power rule for negative rational number, so it is very simple. X raised to power negative 1 by 2 plus 1 over negative 1 by 2 plus 1 plus c. Finally you will get x raised to power 1 by 2 over 1 by 2 plus c, and at the end you will get 2 raised to power x 1 by 2 plus c, and sometimes it can be written as 2 square root of x plus c. So this power rule is now applicable for the rational number as well as the rational number. It could be positive rational number and it could be negative rational number. So no problem at all to applying this formula. The formula is power rule. Now we have studied this particular rule, that is a power rule for positive integers and for the negative integers and for rational numbers. Now the very important thing is, if n is a positive integer, so it means you are starting your value from 1 to onward, 1, 2, 3 and so on. And when you are choosing n is negative integer, then your value will start from negative 1, negative 2, negative 3 and so on. But one number we are missing, that is n is equal to 0. N is equal to 0. Very important number. If we choose n is equal to 0, then what will happen? And sometimes everyone knows any number raised to 0 is always equal to 1. So actually we will apply this power rule on x raised to power 0. So 0 plus 1 over 0 plus 1 plus c, and finally you will get x over 1 plus c, and finally you will get x plus c. That is very important. It means you can say this power rule, in this power rule the number n is applicable for all integers. If you are saying integers, it means 0 plus 1, because we are skipping minus 1, but plus minus 2, plus minus 3 and so on but we are skipping -1 because there is a restriction. We cannot use -1. So we cannot say this is a set of integers because here -1 is missing. So that's why I'm just denoting z by some other notation. For instance, I just keep any means steric sign on it. It does not mean it is an integer because we are missing -1. So this is not a set of integers, but in our reference we are just assuming that for the power rule the exponent n will be from this set. N belongs to this set. 0, +1, -1 is missing, +2, -2, +3, -3. You can choose any value from this set. So what will happen if you choose 0, x raised to power 0, and sometimes it means it is very important to know. Someone will ask, so if what will be the integral of any constant number? So you can easily define that for any constant, the integral of any constant will be x plus c. Now if someone say we have not 1 but we have 4 instead of 1, then what will be the answer? We will say 4x plus c. If someone say x is equal to -5, then what will be the integral? We will say -5x plus c. Actually what we are doing over here, just take -5 common out of the integral and we left dx, and according to this actually it is dx. You can see here this is just dx. X raised to power 0 will be 1. So actually we are just integrating dx, and that will be x, then plus c. So this will be the final result for any constant number. So it means if you have any constant number, any constant, you can say if you have a d for d is any constant, then what will be the answer for this constant number? So you will get d plus dx plus c. So this will be your final result in this case. Now at the end we will say in this particular case we are discussing n as a positive integer or a negative integer but excluding -1, and then we elaborate that n belongs to z star, that is 0, +1, -1 is missing, +, -2 and so on. But the story is not end here. This n is a real number. This n basically is a real number, so you can further extend this formula up to real numbers, but we have only discussed here the positive integers and positive and negative rational numbers and negative integers, including the set of integers excluding -1, even 0. But this formula, this power rule is applicable for every power. N is a real number but excluding -1. For instance, at the end if you have x raised to power square root 2 dx, so the answer will be x raised to power square root 2 plus 1 over square root 2 plus 1 plus c. Square root 2 is an irrational number, so it means this formula is applicable for rational numbers, irrational numbers, all positive integers and all the negative integers, in excluding -1, and at the end it is also for n is equal to 0, and overall we can say here n is a real number. So finally we have concluded that n is a real number, so you can take any power from the set of real numbers excluding -1. Now at the end I want to share a very important thing. You have seen in the given power formula, what is this C? Have you asked this question? What is this C and how this C comes in the integral of any function? So we need to check the answer of this. For instance, if you have a function x square minus 1, similarly the other function is x square plus 1, and then x square, and then x square minus 1 over 2, x square plus square root 2. These are the functions, and all functions are different but quadratic functions. The first term is same but the second terms are different, and these are called the constant terms. If we take the first derivative of all the functions, x square minus 1, x square plus 1, and so on, so you will get 2x. Okay. If we take the integral of this function 2x, what will happen? You will see the integral of 2x will be 2x square by 2 plus c. This 2 will be cancelled out, and finally you will left with x square plus c. Why we have written c over here? Because we don't know when this function 2x when a function x square plus some number was differentiated and which constant was present over there, because we just have been given 2x only. We didn't explain before that it is a differential of which function, whether when we differentiate x square minus 1, this 2x for this particular function x square minus 1, or for this particular function x square plus 1. Since we don't know what will be the constant, so that's why we have written c over here. So this is very important. Why this c comes, this is a short explanation for this particular c.